Hi, I'm Jenny Kanoki, and this is my Module 10 for AEP 880. The 4 articles that we had to read for class, I summarized them together all on one slide. So a common theme that I kept picking up on in all 4 articles was communication. Communication with staff members, with students, and then also with the community. It really has to be a team effort. The first article talked about that a lot, that the environment and the structure, it has to be communicated to staff members and students. The leadership roles of the school, they need to be passed on to the staff members to carry out the prevention plan so that they know what to watch and they can be watching for the students. The second article talked more about emotions, about having positive relationships with the students, that, just one teacher can make a huge impact on a student. If every student has at least one teacher that they have a relationship with at school, that can make such a huge impact on just their positive outlook of school. And if they have somebody that they can go to for support or that they can open up to if there is a bullying situation going on. The third article talked a lot, it kind of tied in more with the second article, about just making your classrooms an inviting place, celebrating events, getting kids involved in school, making them be just self-motivated to want to get their work done, giving them a reason to be excited to being there. And I really liked those articles because I think bullying comes a lot sometimes from just wanting to have power. It comes from a place that, they want to look all tough, but actually it's coming from a place of just not really being sure of who they are. They're trying to accomplish something that they're not sure of. And so I think a lot of times they just need to have something positive in their lives. They need to have that positive relationship with a teacher, or they need to see that there's more to school than just picking on kids. And if they are one of those kids that gets picked on, then they can see that, that there is a more positive reason to be in school than just them getting bullied. Article 4 tied more in line with the first one, that, along with communicating with staff members and the community, that teachers need to be teaching social and emotional lessons, that we need to be talking to, kids about what bullying is, what bullying behavior is, what you can do, that, if you are the one being bullied, who you can talk to, what you can do. If you are a student that witnesses bullying, what can you do, where can you go? And then just once again in the classrooms, kind of end with the second and third article, just cultivating a classroom that is positive and respectful. And so all of those articles just tied in with the main standards over and over again about just communicating with your staff members and your students, and just having the entire school and the community all aware of what the prevention plan is and what your positive goals are for the school. The 4 articles that I found, I summarized them each separately. The first one, preventing bullying, guidelines for administrators and crisis teams. So this is obviously aimed more just at the school leaders. So schools are legally and ethically responsible for trying to prevent bullying. You cannot stop it. You cannot say that it doesn't exist at your school. It's virtually impossible, sadly, to avoid bullying. It's going to happen in one form or another. So schools need to have crisis plans and prevention plans in place, and they need to do trainings and get their staff and their students aware of what those prevention plans are. They need to have bullying policies that are written, typed up, that are put out, not just talking about, oh, we don't allow bullies, really putting it out there. What is our plan? What is our no tolerance policy? And having that in the handbook, having it on the website, making parents and students and staff members aware exactly word for word what your policies and prevention plans are. Recognizing that bullying is a mental health and relationship issue. I really liked that point because I think we just want to say that that person, not that we want to, but I think society kind of says like that person is just a horrible person. We're not recognizing the fact that they're trying to overcompensate for something. There's something inside them that is making them feel like they need to rise up and be powerful. There is a deeper issue inside themselves that we need to help them address that goes past the bullying issue. Right now in the world, we need to be teaching our students responsibility with technology. It is all around us. It can be such a positive, powerful thing, like when you're using it to complete classes, but it can also become just a source of just horrible wickedness if students do not know how to use it and how to be kind when they use it. And then also, as school leaders and teachers, we are responsible to teach bystanders what they can do if they are witnessing bullying. The second article, the 5 best practices to keep kids safe. So, bullying can be split up into 4 different categories: physical, social, verbal, and cyber. And cyber is becoming just a bigger and bigger topic for bullying. I feel really bad for kids these days because, when kids were picked on back in the day, not that it was right back then, but you could go home and usually get away from the bullying. And now it seems like it's worse when, even if they're away from their peers, because their peers can still get to them on, Twitter, Instagram, and all the different platforms of social media. Even if they don't call those kids out directly or tag them in something, you can read in between the lines sometimes of kids' tweets that, they're talking about somebody at school. And I feel really bad for kids growing up these days that are dealing with cyberbullying, because it's essentially like, they're never getting a break from it. And so we need to recognize as teachers that bullying can happen anywhere. When we have technology at our fingertips, bullying can happen any time of the day, 24/7, 365. And so you really need the school and the community to buy in. You need the staff members and the parents and, the other members of the community to buy in, to make sure that your school is a positive place and you're holding, students and staff members alike to those standards and policies that they have set for prevention. Article 3, bullying prevention. Bullying is not just a school issue, it's a community issue. A lot of times a kid's not just going to be a bully in school. They're going to be a bully outside of the school too. So like I just said, you really need that community buy-in along with, the school buy-in. People need to be taught to stand up to bullying, no matter what age it is. Don't just say the little line, oh, boys will be boys. No, it doesn't matter. We need to step up. We need to teach, our ladies to be ladies, our men to be men. We need to start teaching people, to be kind to each other, not say things like boys will be boys. No, like, you don't just say, oh, they're going to grow out of it. We need people in schools, in communities, places where you have an impact on children and adults, to step up when you see bullying and when you see that, nastiness happening. In order to prevent bullying, schools need to develop a code of conduct, that students and staff members and parents, they need to be aware of what the expectations are. There needs to be, some no tolerance guidelines out there that, period, those things will not be tolerated. And then teachers need to be informed about social and emotional lessons. Those are becoming more of a popular topic. I talked about that a lot on my last assignment, that my school already does that, and it is so critical to be teaching that to kids from when they are young to as they are old. Start teaching things not so much about sympathy for others, but empathy for other people, putting yourself in other people's shoes. I think a lot of times that'll go hand in hand with bullying. If you can just slow down and think about how somebody else is feeling, it will hopefully cut back on that bullying behavior. Article 4, safe schools, bullying prevention. Like I have previously said, no school is immune to bullying. It's everywhere, whether you like it or not. No matter how good of a school leader you are, how good of a teacher or coach or mentor you are, somewhere along the way, bullying is going to creep in here and there. And so school-wide programs are super crucial, and those programs have to be communicated. I feel like a broken record a little bit saying that, but it is so true. You have to communicate that to your staff members. They have to know what your policies are. They have to know what to say to students. They need to know what to look for. They need to be trained to see, what does bullying look like. Cyberbullying, it's a part of the world these days. And it's a really delicate topic with schools. How much can we get involved if the bullying isn't taking place? If the tweet was sent out, the evening before at 7 p.m., can the school really get involved with that? It's such a dangerous, delicate, legally, sensitive topic, because the problem is that bullying still affects academics. If the bullying is happening between two kids, even if it's, through the internet and it's happening after school hours, that's still going to affect how those students come to school and interact with each other, academically, socially, emotionally. And so cyberbullying is a really sensitive subject that people are having to start to figure out, when does the school get involved? And so staff members need to be trained to recognize the signs of bullying, outside in cyberbullying and also outside of cyberbullying, just recognize the signs that, what is happening when somebody is being bullied, what are the things they need to be looking for, and then teach those staff members that it's not their job to make both parties work it out. You don't have to pull both of those kids in for a share circle and make it work it out. That is what the policies are for. That's what a plan is for. That's what a crisis team's for. And so it is not a teacher's job to just handle that bullying situation themselves. And so within teaching staff members how to recognize bullying, you need to make sure that staff members are increasing their supervision in the areas where bullying is happening. Summary of data. So I was really surprised by this data, not so much by the types of bullying, the name calling, teasing, spreading rumors. I definitely think number 3, spreading rumors, the older people get, especially girls, spreading rumors or lies, just kind of bending the truth a little bit, that definitely happens. What I was surprised about was the most common location. I was thinking, maybe like locker rooms, bathrooms, places where, as students get older, they start to be able to go a little bit more freely without supervision. But classrooms, hallways, and cafeterias, it makes sense because that's where large groups are all together. That's where students, can visually see each other. But I was still caught off guard because those are 3 areas where, there should absolutely 100% be supervision. And so those locations surprised me, but yet also didn't surprise me. And so I think as a school leader, it's just super critical that you teach your staff members what the signs of bullying are, and then also you show them data like this to say, hey, this is where this is where bullying is happening. It's not, sneaky little notes being passed. It's not down in the locker room before practice. It's right in front of our eyes. And so we have to make sure that we are being vigilant and paying attention to those situations and those signs. Missing policies and procedures. So, if bullying's happening in schools, teachers and staff really need to be looking at, are we monitoring those locations closely? Are we paying attention? Are we putting our phone down or our coffee down or stopping our conversation with a colleague? Are we really looking for signs of bullying and how students are interacting with each other? Have we talked to students and made them feel empowered enough to intervene? Do they feel like they can step up and say something to their peers? Have we communicated with the school and the community about the intervention plans? Do the parents and staff know what the intervention plans are? Have we keyed in key community members? Have we followed through with the no tolerance policy? You can't just have it in your handbook and, just kind of pull it out every now and then. It needs to be something that is brought up and talked about. And steps that are taken to prevent bullying. So when the policies and plans and procedures are being taken care of, the school environment is it's positive, it's inclusive. Students feel like they fit in there, whether it's, academically, they're just shining, or through their sports, their clubs, whatever. Students feel like they belong in school. And that also goes into the staff members too. There can be bullying amongst staff members as well. Sometimes it's pretty easy to send that little snarky email and to be, a keyboard warrior. That it's not just kids that bully, it can be staff members too. School leaders and staff members, they're trained and they have resources about bullying prevention. The teacher and student relationships are positive, and that is just going to help academics and extracurricular activities thrive. And students are encouraged to be involved in their school and to be proud of their school. And so that is what I gathered from this assignment on bullying. My next slide is my different resources. And so thank you for this.